Okay, so now what I'm going to do is we're going to look at the different types of soils that I have, and then we're going to put them into the vials, and then the next video we're going to look at how the soil looks when it's wet. Okay, so we're going to start with soil number 1, and if you look at it, it's mostly that really small material. We have some of these larger rocks that are pebbles, but they're not that big. I wouldn't even say pebbles. I would say more like sand, because pebbles are a little bigger than that. And it looks like they have that really fine material, silt, and it looks like it has some sand and gravel. Okay, so this would be more like gravel, these larger pieces. They're not huge, but they're bigger than most of it. So this consists of mostly like clay or silt, sand. I could see some of the sand in there, and if you were here, you would have magnifying glasses looking at it. And then there's also gravel, and there's a little bit of humus. I can kind of see some darker pieces in there, not a whole lot. So I'm gonna get that out of the way. The next one is number 2, and now you can see there's some actual pebbles in here. That's the larger rocks, those are pebbles. You can see the gravel, and then there's also some sand and some silt as well, as long as you look at the smaller material. Okay, it's not as visible. So that would represent the mountains. The first one represented the river delta, which is kind of like a riverbed. This represents what you'd find in the mountains. So I'm gonna put this over here. And then the next one, this is like a desert type sand. So this is what you would see in the desert, and you see we still have some pebbles, not pebbles, we have some gravel, and we have some okay, sorry, my kids are kind of being silly. So you see all the different types of rocks. There's the finer stuff, which is the silt and the sand, and then there's the larger ones, but we don't have any pebbles in this. But this would be, if you were to go out into a desert, this is kind of what you would see on the ground. And then the last one is what you would see on the forest floor. Do you see all this dark stuff? This dark stuff is, it's dead plant and animal material. It's called humus. And this is what plants need a lot of in order to grow and get the nutrients that they need, okay? You can also see some pebbles in here. You could see some gravel in here. And I'm pretty sure there's probably some silt and some sand in here as well, but just not as much, okay? So what I want you to do is pause this video. I want you to divide a paper into fourths, and I want you to draw what each plate looks like and then describe it with words, okay? So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these different materials and I'm gonna put them in a vial. And when I put them in this vial, we're gonna add water to it eventually. And when we add water to it, we're gonna see how they behave when you add that to it. So I'm going to fill these up about halfway. I'm gonna turn my plate into a taco. And then when I do that, I'm gonna pour the material in. So we fill it about halfway. See? Put my materials to the side, and then I'm gonna put my lid back on, and then you can see, here's the material within this. And then we can see what happens. This is a material that's a lot more fine. Fine meaning really small and smooth. The next one we're gonna do is vial number 2, earth material sample number 2. And this one is the mountain, like what you would see if you were to go on top of a mountain. You can tell the bigger pieces of rock that are in there. I'm gonna look at it from the side. If you look, you can see those large pieces of rock. Some fine dirt, but most of it's the larger pieces. Number 3, this is the desert material. Okay. I'm gonna dump a little bit out. I got a little too carried away with this one. All right, put the lid on, and then you can look at it. You can see those larger pebbles in there, not pebbles, gravel. There's really no pebbles in this one. And then the last one, the representation of the forest. Okay. There you go. And you can see there's more darker material on that one. I'm gonna close it up, and then you're gonna look at it. So, and there's also some larger pebbles in there, some gravel. It's mostly made up of that humus material though. Okay? All right.